Hello, it's George Tabell from ESPN Cricket Info here with Mike Procter, who joins us towards the end of the second day of the second test at Leeds. Mike, South Africa in a very strong position, largely through the efforts of Alviro Petersen. He really answered a few critics in this game, hasn't he?
He certainly has. He's played with such maturity. When you think back before this test innings, he wasn't a permanent fixture in this national side. He's still got to cement his place. But he's played with, as I said, such maturity. The first morning he played really well. He outscored Graham Smith by a long way. He played with a lot of confidence. Then after lunch on the first day, the ball started to swing around a bit. The clouds came over, and he struggled a bit. He played and missed, and he really had to graft for his runs, which he had to do for the best part of the first day. And then he came out this morning and played superb innings. The ball was moving around, the cloud cover was there. They were playing and missing a lot. Rudolph and him played and missed on numerous occasions, but they hung it out. They absorbed the pressure. The England bowlers bowled well at stages. They went through a stage, I think, when they bowled, 5 or 6 maidens in a row. The runs were really hard to come by, but they absorbed all that. And eventually the bad balls came, the fours started to come. And that was a hugely disciplined knock by both of them. But particularly Alviro Petersen, who has been lacking in serious test runs to cement his place. But he certainly, as you said, his answers to critics in no small manner here. It was a fantastic innings.
The thing is with the South African batting lineup, it's so long that it wears down attacks. And we saw today that England actually bowled pretty well, particularly in the first session. But they just couldn't find a way through, and there's a remorselessness about this South African side, which you get with 7 specialist batsmen.
Well, I think that's absolutely right. Suddenly having 7 specialist batsmen, and if Mark Boucher was here, and thankfully we've heard that maybe things have improved as far as I was concerned, which everyone sends their best wishes to him. It's actually strengthened the side because now you've got de Villiers keeping wicket, and he does that admirably well. I mean, he's such a team competitor and such an athlete that he fits into any sort of space that's available to him. But now we've suddenly got 7 frontline batters, and it hasn't affected our bowling at all. We've still got probably the best balanced attack in world cricket because we've got 3 quality bowlers. We've got Dale Steyn, the best bowler in world cricket at the moment, without a doubt. Morne Morkel, who's bowling better and better and better, bowls with a lot of confidence. He's attacking the batsman. And then you've got Villander, who's bowling well in this series, the quickest man to 50 test wickets. So those 3 are arguably as good as anyone in the world, if not the best. And added to that, we've got Jack Cullis. I mean, what a 4th bowler to have in a line-out after 3 bowlers like that, because he's a wicket taker, great all-rounder. And then, for the first time in a long time, we've got a leg spinner, a genuine wicket taker. So it's a really quality side, and I think the difference here is when you become great sides, you get very good sides and you become great sides. I think the batsmen here have really put their foot down. They get big runs. They're not just scoring 50s and 60s and maybe just 100. It's big hundreds. It's 300s. It's 180s. It's 170s, and that is the difference between a good side and what's going to be, I think, a great side.
When we saw Kevin Petersen rip his second ball past Jack Rudolph's outside edge and he was stumped, that was a really telling moment in the game, wasn't it? And testament to the fact that England have surely made quite a large error not selecting Graham Swan.
Well, I think so. If you look at it logically, and before this test match, before the last test match at the Oval, the argument was in England that they had a better balanced attack because they had the #1 off-spin bowler in the world to go along with their 3 quality seam bowlers, and that was true. Now they've lost the test match, and the best spinner in world cricket, orthodox spinner in world cricket, is not playing, which was a little bit surprising. If the wicket was as green as having come from Natal, KwaZulu at Kingsmead, where we had green tops which were green tops. Here it's not quite the same. So to leave out a quality spinner is always a dangerous move, and it was ironical that the second morning here, when the seamers had passed the bat on so many occasions, that a part-time off-spinner comes on and takes the only wicket of the morning session.
We're just about at the halfway stage of the series. It's quite hard to escape the conclusion that South Africa looked the stronger side, isn't it?
Yeah, up until this stage, there's no doubt that South Africa are superior, and firmly superior at this stage. They really are. That freak test match at the Oval, which has got to go down as one of South Africa's greatest victories, no doubt about that, in the manner that they won it. And the way they're playing, they're full of confidence. And there's an example, a game of the confidence that Alviro Petersen showed when he batted. You know, the whole side's losing confidence. You've got to have confidence to perform well at international level in any sport. And particularly when you're facing a seam attack, which is one of the best in the world, having been put into bat on a so-called pretty green wicket. You've got to have a lot of confidence to get runs. And Alviro Petersen got his head down, and you know, he got a big 100. And all credit to him, it really was spectacular.
Now, cricket wouldn't be the wonderful game it is if it was predictable. So, you know, England can probably get back into this match in this series. But here we are towards the end of the second day. They're nearly 400 behind still. It's desperately tough, isn't it, at this stage? I mean, can England still win this game?
Very tough. I think it's just the way that the body language of sort of both teams. The South African body language is so positive. You know, the batsmen look confident out there. They absorb pressure. The bowlers maybe didn't bowl on song as they would have liked this evening, but still there's a lot left in that pitch. The ball's still pretty new, and you know, they'll absorb pressure again. If they don't get quick early wickets, they'll just bowl their good lines, bowl their lengths, their good lengths, and they'll have the psychology that wickets will come if they do the right thing, which is bowling a good line, good length, and bowling at their optimum pace.
And realistically, England's best hope of winning is to probably bat once, score 600, and bowl South Africa out. There's quite a lot of big ifs there, aren't there?
I think if you're an England supporter, too many ifs, too many. But you know, if England are to win this Test match, we're talking about that to keep the series alive. Because if they don't win here, then obviously they cannot win the series. And if they are to win it, I would say South Africa have to collapse dramatically, one way or the other, and their bowling department or batting, and the way they've handled themselves this tour so far, that looks almost impossible.